Hello class, and welcome to section 11E, which is about box and whisker plots. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to use data to create box and whisker plots. So a box and whisker plot is a type of graphing diagram that is constructed using 5 data points. The median, which we learned about in yesterday's lesson, which is that middle number, the upper and lower quartile, which I'll go over how to find today, and then the extreme values, aka the minimum and the maximum. So we've got the box from 3 data points and those extended whiskers from the other 2 data points. So in order to create a box and whisker plot, step 1, assemble your numbers from smallest to largest. Then you are going to find the 5 points. The minimum, the lower quartile, which I'm going to refer to as LQ, which is the middle number of the lower half of the data, and then the median, and then the upper quartile, which is the middle of the upper half of the data, and then the maximum, which is the biggest number. The box is going to go from that lower quartile to the upper quartile with a line at the median spot, and then there's going to be dots at the minimum and the maximum to make the whiskers. So, for example, we have a list of prices here. Job number 1 is to put them in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, starting with my smallest number of 14. Then I've got 15, after that 17, then 18, then 20, then 20 again, and then 22, followed by 25, followed by 27, and then 30 and 30. So I put my data points in order from the smallest to the greatest. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to label because we need to know the minimum and the maximum. So those 2 points are going to be part of our graph. Next, we're going to find the median. So we did this in our lesson yesterday. Cross off the smallest, the biggest, the smallest, the biggest, the smallest, the biggest, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest. So our median is going to be at 20. Now the new piece of data that we haven't looked at is the upper quartile and the lower quartile. To find the lower quartile, you're going to use the set of numbers below the median. So now we're going to find the middle of these 5 numbers. So smallest, biggest, smallest, and biggest. So our lower quartile is at 17. Then to find the upper quartile, we're doing the same process, but with our bigger numbers. So smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest, and that gives us our upper quartile at 27. So now to make the actual plot, you're going to start by putting a dot at the minimum and a dot at the maximum. Then the quartiles, so 17 and 27, that forms the box part of the graph. So you go ahead and make a rectangle on that. And at the median, you're going to put a vertical line. The last part is to connect your dots to make those whiskers. So what this tells us is that we have one chunk of data. This smaller group is right here in this line. This group right here falls in this box. This group right here falls in this part of the box. And then this group up here falls in this part of the box. Notice, one thing I want to note is that the median is not necessarily in the center of the box. And that is completely fine. you put the data wherever your numbers pan out. Go ahead and try this one on your own. So we put our numbers in order, find the minimum, find the maximum, get to that median, then we use the bottom half to find the lower quartile, the upper half to find the upper quartile, and we end up with this box and whisker plot at the bottom. Going through another example here, once again, we want to start by putting our data in order. So 19, and then we got 20, and then 22, and then we got a couple of 23s, so 23 and 23, and then a couple of 25, so 25 and 25, and then we've got 27, 30, 34, 35, and 40. Start by labeling our maximum and our minimum, so our smallest number and our biggest number. Then we're going to go through and find that median value, so smallest, largest, smallest, largest, smallest, largest, smallest, largest, smallest, largest. There's two numbers here in the middle. When that happens, you're going to take these two numbers, add them up. So 25 plus 25 is 50, and you're going to divide that by 2, giving you 25 as your median. Then you are going to go ahead and go through and cross off your data. Now, since these two did not get crossed off, they're going to be included in our lower quartile and our upper quartile. So as we are going through to do that, smallest, biggest, smallest, biggest. So again, we end up with something in the middle. So I'm going to have to do 22 plus 23, which is going to give me 45 divided by 2, meaning that my lower quartile is going to be 22.5. And then we've got smallest, largest, smallest, largest, again in the middle. 30 plus 34 is 64, divided by 2 means 32 is our upper quartile. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to put my dots at my maximum and my minimum. So minimum of 19, maximum of 40, which is going to be off of our chart here. Then you're going to go through and you need to put your 22.5 is going to be right here. Your upper quartile at 32. So that's going to be your box. And then you need your line for your median, which is going to be at 25. And connect those whiskers, giving you your final plot. Go ahead and try this one on your own. So you end up with the following box right here with the whiskers. If you have any questions about this or anything else from the lesson, please feel free to reach out and let me know.